What's up, guys? Um, Sorry, it's been a while. I've been lazy, but I'm be making a settings guide video just because I feel like it. Main reason. But let's just get straight into it. Um, Base tab, the gameplay tab. Only two things you really need to focus on: unlimited boost and free play. That's pretty explanatory, and same with Spark Top. So those two are really the only two you need to worry about in the gameplay tab. Also make sure you all have all these on. Um, you can do more research into input buffer. I know Rocket Science has a wonderful video on it. I'm not going to go into detail. I just keep camera settings. The range is 250 to 290 is most common range. That's really best. 270 is most common. Field of view. Field of view is 109 to 110. That's the basically only what people use. Camera shake always have it turned off, of course. Height is 90 to 110. Most common being 100. Angle, -5 to -3. That is mostly is well. That's what everybody uses. It just gives you a good perspective on the car and doesn't take stuff out of proportion. Or not doesn't take stuff and makes it harder. So it's a good balance between everything, but these two go together. Stiffness and distance go together too. If you have a higher distance, you want to better to have your stiffness a bit higher. It doesn't make your distance go really far out, and it's the opposite if it's low. You want it a bit lower. So, civil speed. If your controller, stay above 4.7. Wrote hating right now. Civil speed, just stay above 4.7 if your controller. If you are KBM, don't go below 1.7. Or not 1.7, 2.7. From my knowledge, 2.7, like 3 is mostly what's used for KBM. I don't know much about KBM, not gonna lie. That's what I've seen a lot of. Transition speed, 1.4 or 1.0 to 1.4 is best range that I've seen. Most pro players use that because you can it still goes pretty fast, but you can still get a lot of info about where people are and where your teammates are when uh, for controls. Student sensitivity is 1.0 to 2.0. That's the big range. And there's a lot of numbers. Most common is 1.3 to 1.4 and also 1.2. Those are the most common sensitivities people are using currently. With some people like AJ sitting at 2, Monkey Moon sitting at 4 cents. But I don't recommend going to that extreme, especially if you're new. I recommend staying a bit lower. If you're brand new, don't go above 1.3. And try to keep these the same. Controller dead zone. Stay between 0.05 and 0.1. Most people stay on 0.05. If your controller can handle it, if it can't, go higher. Keep going up by 1 until stick drift stops. The lower you can get is the better. Dodge dead zone. Most people stay above 0.5 0.50, or at 0.50 with some outliers going past it. I don't recommend going below 0.2 if you're going lower than 0. Controller vibration turn off. Ball camera mode, keep that on, or toggle, keep that on toggle. The mouse sensitivity, if you're KBM, this don't really matter when but that was pretty, I didn't even know what that does. But if you're KBM, keep this at 0. No, or just keep this at the lowest it goes. For fines, this is where a bit of personal preference comes in, but there is the most optimal. If you play with your middle finger on triggers, which is one of the most common ways to hold a controller, and is the best for people who do not have paddles or stuff, which most people don't, or that don't play claw. But I think this is the best. This is the best layout for people to hold this. If you can't, you gotta learn to either do your middle fingers on the triggers, have your pointer finger on the bumpers, or you're just gonna have to learn fat thumb or play claw. But without me talking about that anymore, boost on R1 or RB, power slide and air roll on L1 or LB, focus on ball, that's triangle, or Y, that's default. Arrow right and left, I don't recommend using these. I would say like diamond 2, you could you don't really need them, to be honest. They help with certain stuff, they help some, but they're definitely not needed at all. But they are helpful, and if you want to learn them, go ahead. I know Squishy has a wonderful video on teaching you how to play them. So I have them on circle and square, with these being boost stuff, which takes up that. Scoreboard I have on the share button, or I have no idea what the equivalent is on Xbox, so you'll have to figure that one out. Just, I'm pretty sure it's a button with 2 squares on it. Voice chat, you don't need that. You can clear that. Make sure you change reset shot and scoreboard when changing your stuff to the bumpers, like power slide and stuff. Change that so you don't have scoreboard popping up while you're doing something, and training so you don't. Interface, I recommend just staying this at 100 if you're new. If you want to use this, you can. I don't fully recommend it to newer players. Nameplate scale, stay above 100. Most people use 120 to 120 and up. It's common. I don't really care about having these on. Color by mode, if you're color blind, turn it on. Force team colors. Yeah, I don't really care about it. Notifications during game, if you don't want them, turn it off. But they don't bother me at all. Team color boost meter, this makes your meter either have blue or orange in it depending on the team. Metric, it's just what you are. I just prefer metric in this game. Ball cam indicator is not needed at all. That's the little ball cam thing at the bottom saying it's on. I don't really pay much attention to it. It just tells me, because sometimes they err. I have trouble realizing, or certain situations have trouble realizing car cam, ball cam. So have it on, just let me know. Always keep ball arrow on. These are up to you. I don't recommend putting these on though. You can keep like one. Probably need video. You want to try keeping this as low as possible. Most pros do, most people do, pretty sure, but always keep render quality high quality. You don't need anti-async, and always turn off vertical sync, and have display mode on full screen, which gives you the least amount of input frames per second. Go as high as your computer can go. Don't go by your refresh rate. Go as high as your computer can go, and don't do uncapped. It's too your frames fluctuate too much, and it will make your game stutter a whole lot more. So go as high as your computer can do consistently. So for texture quality, most people use high performance. Some people use high quality. Same with road detail. You can do quality, but I'm pretty sure world detail. I can't remember which one does it. Yeah, it's world detail. World detail makes it the trails have there's more trails on it. You see how there's more trails. If I take this off, there will be less. There would just be one trail. For example, just trail instead of all the other ones. I just have don't really pay attention that much to it. Particle performance, they don't really do much. Low intensity are high quality shaders you don't need. It can like it says, reduce performance. You want to have the highest performance as possible. So these don't really need depth of field and stuff you don't need either. All of this. Lens flares is an interesting one. It makes some stuff harder to see in certain situations, but it does look nice, especially with boost. Certain boost stuff, it does make it look better, but I don't really care that much about it, and I don't really care how good stuff looks, so I keep it off and all that stuff. Make sure you have transparent goalposts. It makes this so you can see in corners. If I turned it off, it would just be solid. Wouldn't know the ball or what they would do. Keep it on. And that's mostly all. It's audio settings is 100% up to you. I don't like any of this, so I turned everything off like this, and I keep this pretty low. It is decently loud in my headphones because I can change that, and these don't really matter. You can keep. Yeah, that's about it. There's a lot of people who just don't understand that much about setting what to use. I'm gonna probably put some camera settings that you should try, especially if you're brand new. Helps people who just don't feel like experimenting. Choose one. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next.